School is out and snap! Summer is here just like that. So I've put together some quick Snapchat videos from your children's pastor, hearing the heart of what it means to be a CFA Kids leader and also to help us stay sharp. So enjoy this quick Snapchat. Hey CFA Kids leaders, thanks for joining us again for another quick Snapchat where we've been covering tips and tricks and topics to help you on the front lines and also to help you catch the heart and vision of what it means to be a CFA Kids leader. Today we're going to cover the topic of steering a child's behavior or kind of setting the tone for behavior, because in just the nature of what we do in kids ministry, we're going to be dealing with different behaviors, different situations, discipline, all that jazz. And there are four things that help you in your ministry setting to kind of steer and set the tone of behavior with the kids, with your group. So the first one is set your expectations and communicate your rules/expectations up front. All right, so let your rules be known at the start of your small group, at the start of your service, so that it is a clear understanding what's expected of the kids. That way they can never say, well, you didn't say that we couldn't do that. You let them know right up front. When it comes to setting, as you think through some rules, think through rules that you can be consistent with and follow through, all right? And you want rules that are kind of generic enough to fit most situations. For example, during the services in Kids Junior and Kids World and chapels, we've communicated 4 simple rules that have fit mostly every situation during a service. And that is SOAR, or it stands for S means stay seated, O is obey your leaders, A is always ask, and R is respect others. So there's an example of our expectations that we communicate before every service so that kids know what is expected of them. The second thing to help kind of steer and set the tone for behavior, know that bored kids cause trouble, all right? Just know that if you're bored, or I know if I was bored as a kid, I would tease and pick on my sisters just to find something to do. I'd usually get into trouble or mischief. So same thing goes in our ministry settings. So plan interactive and engaging lessons that involve the whole group, that teach and engage different learning styles, something that you would enjoy honestly sitting through and hearing as a kid. A lot of behavior issues come just because kids are bored. So keep them engaged and have interactive lessons that will help solve most behavior problems. All right. And then the third thing to help kind of steer and set the tone, if you do have problems, if behavior issues do arise, there's a couple things that you can try to help. The first thing I ask is, am I not engaging this kid? Or maybe I try to get them involved in the service somehow, or in the teaching, or in the passing out of crayons, whatever. But to take it one step further, I ask myself, do I need to adjust my lesson? Or do I need to get them involved in somehow to help with what we're doing? Another thing that can help when problem does arise is to use incentives. Use things that the kid enjoys, that the kid is passionate about. So for example, a lot of kids love free play time. And so some of the things that I communicate, if they do forget one of our rules, then they lose so many minutes of free play. And that seems to stick. Or maybe they're really passionate about helping at the tech booth, or they're really passionate about helping you teach lesson, or write on the whiteboard. So find something that they enjoy, that they're passionate about, and use that as an incentive and say, look, I need you to live up to these standards, and if you do, you get the privilege of doing A, B, or C, or whatever it was. The last thing, if behavior does arise, that can help you as well, is think through, is maybe it's a person or a thing that just needs to be separated. That can help. Maybe there's a toy that's distracting everyone around them, and that needs just to go on, in the cabinet for a little while, or put in a pocket. Or maybe it's a person that they just don't mesh. The fourth thing to help kind of steer and set the tone for behavior and discipline with kids is pray with them and partner with the parent. When things are going on and it's a continual thing, your tools and your strategies aren't working, then by all means, pray with them. See if they're okay, and give them testimony of yourself. Maybe you remember when you had issues obeying, or you had issues with anger, or you had issues with whatever, and you remember times where people prayed for you, or you prayed and God adjusted your attitude and helped you with that. So pray with them, and also partner with the parent. So at checkout times, communicate with the parent. Hey, here's what was awesome today, and give them some positives. But then also say, but we're continuing to work on this, and see if you can partner with them by asking, what do you do at home that helps? What do they do at school that helps? And also pray with the parent too, because sometimes they might not know. They might be at a loss, and they're just like, nothing is working. So just invite the Holy Spirit in that situation. So in review, one, to help, to steer and set the tone for behavior. One, let your rules and expectations be known up front. Two is make sure your lessons are engaging and interactive. Three is when behavior does arise, adjust, use incentives, or separate. Okay? And then the last thing, the fourth thing to set the tone is partner with the parent and invite prayer into that situation. And also, there's been a very helpful book that I've enjoyed. It's a little bit old school, but it's very helpful with chock full of information. It's called The Discipline Guide for Children's Ministry. So quick, easy read, but some great tips and tricks if you're coming across things that you just don't know how to handle. This is another great resource to check out. So thank you again, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.